Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists of the pointless things, where we fly by his pointless statue in Booty Bay, because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10. Number 10 is Admiral Taylor's Farm, and Admiral Taylor's Farm is located in the Spires of Iraq in Draenor. And you can see right here, it really is this little farm that's kind of tucked away in the hillside right behind Admiral Taylor's garrison. And so pretty much what happens here is Admiral Taylor gets invited to go see some Ring of Blood arena battles, and he's like, awesome, man, I'm gonna go see those. But then his subordinate Ethiel takes control of the garrison, and he's a necromancer, and Admiral Taylor comes back from the Ring of Blood arena battles. He's like, yo, that was fun. And then he's like, yo, what happened? Like, what's going on here? And then Ethiel has turned everyone into ghosts, and they're all dead, and then he turns Admiral Taylor into the Bone Wraith Soul Scythe. And then eventually you end up killing Ethiel and Soul Scythe, and Admiral Taylor's spirit joins you at your Alliance garrison. You're also able to find Ethiel's Dark Grimoire inside the house. So yeah, I mean, overall, this is just a really weird, kind of creepy farm, but I think it's a pretty unique farm in World of Warcraft. Not many farms in WoW have, like, necromancers and like crazy stuff going on. Apparently Ethiel is also a reference to Ephialtes of Trachis, who betrayed the Greeks during the famous Battle of Thermopylae in the Greco-Persian War. But yeah, overall it's a pretty unique farm in an odd location, and that's why Admiral Taylor's farm is number 10. 9. Number 9 is the Akanet Fields, and the Akanet Fields are a large farming area south of the Vernal Dam in Uldum. And there's a few reasons that I love this farm, one of which is it's just very unique, especially to World of Warcraft, where we have so many of your like standard farms that you would think of when you think of farms, right? Well, this one is based off of Egypt, so, you know, we have like the little channels with water in them, and we have the Ramkahen laborers just harvesting the crops out here. It's not something you see all the time in World of Warcraft. But then, in addition to that, we have the corrupted Akanet Fields, where, you know, it's the same thing, but everything's kind of dead and dried up, and we have the, you know, the corruption just spreading. We have all the monsters and the tentacles all over, and I think that just adds another layer to this farm, right? Because this is a farm that has been taken over by corruption and N'Zoth stuff, and so not many farms get corrupted by an old god, so I felt like that alone was worth putting it on the list for. Either way, that's why the Akanet Fields are number 9. 8. Number 8 are the Goshek Farm and the Debris Farmstead located in the Arathi Highlands. And I put these farms on the list because whenever I think of farms, I always think of these two farms. I always think of questing back in Classic WoW in the Arathi Highlands and going to these farms. And I remember there's the quest where the undead has you like go get all the heads from the Debris Farmstead people. And I was like, what actually happens there? Because a lot of times I would just do the quest and be like, whatever. But it says the Forsaken Genevieve Callow had a grudge against the Debris because they managed to survive and prosper after the Third War, while Genevieve lost her family to the plague, and her estate was looted and burned. In addition, the Debris stole the only precious belongings she had left to her after being raised to undeath. She wanted them dead, and so she sends you, the Horde adventurers, to kill them. Meanwhile, the Goshek farm is being used by the Forsaken and the Orcs, where the Forsaken are using it as a testing ground for their alchemical experiments, and the Orcs are just using it for supplies. There's also a whole bunch of stuff that happened here after the Cataclysm and Battle for Azeroth, and obviously it all got updated, but whenever I think of the Arathi Highlands farms, I always think of the old classic version, so that's kind of what I wanted to put up here. So that's why the Goshek farm and the Debris Farmstead are number 8. 7. Number 7 is the Amber Waves, and the Amber Waves is a large farmstead located west of Brennadum in Stormsong Valley. And I knew I wanted to put a farm from Stormsong Valley on this list because I just love Stormsong Valley. It's one of my favorite zones that they've ever made. I love the hills and the trees and the green and just everything about it, right? And so there's so many farms in this whole area, but this specific area is the one that I remember the most, I would say, and there's a few reasons for that. Number one is this is the Amber Waves, which makes sense because it's just waves of wheat, right? There's just a whole bunch of wheat all over, and it says here that wheat is often amber colored, especially when it ripens and is ready for harvest. And so yeah, I just thought that was really cool, seeing the waves of wheat all over contrasting with the green grass. And then we also have the Quillboar attacking, and the Quillboar have dug tunnels underneath all the farmland, which is pretty crazy when you think about it, and so you have to go fight the Quillboars, and I always remember doing that quest line. And so overall, just really cool farmland in Stormsong Valley. There's plenty of other farms in Stormsong Valley that are really cool as well, but I just picked this one, so that's why the Amber Waves are number 7. 6. Number 6 are the Sludge Fields, and the Sludge Fields is a Forsaken fortification built over the Hillsbrad Fields, which I'm sure many people remember from Classic WoW as the big farmland area where you did a bunch of quests. Well, now it's been turned into a prison for the captured humans of Lordaeron, where they're sent to do labor, or I guess they're just planted as seeds. For the quest Do the Right Thing, it says, "You have come upon a horrific scene. Someone or something has buried all of these humans up to their necks in a manner consistent with planting. The ghouls, which are seemingly tending the field of human seedlings, periodically jump to the nearest human and devour its head. You can end this right here and now. Take this shovel and save the humans." And so, yeah, this is a very unconventional farm. Obviously, they are, planting human seeds, which are literally just humans, I mean, they're undead, right? They're just like, plant the humans, whatever, right? But it's still a farm, right? It used to be a farm. Now it's more of like a Forsaken farm, and it's just very unique and unconventional. And that's one of my favorite things to find, is unique and unconventional stuff that you don't normally see in World of Warcraft. So that's why the Sludge Fields are number 6. 5. Number 5 is the Draxora Fields, and the Draxora Fields are it's Draxotra. Oh my god, I've been getting it wrong this whole time. It's Draxotra Fields. It's like The Simpsons, where he's like, I've been calling her Crandall. The Draxotra Fields are Drakari farmlands found southwest of Draxotra and south of the Argent Stand in Zuldrak. And it's actually here where the trolls are planting and harvesting water poppy. But in the grand scheme of things, this is another one of those unique, unconventional types of farms that we don't see very often in World of Warcraft, right? Like, there's all this water all over, and there's the big irrigation bridges with the water pouring over the top, and some of it's like sliding down the sides and the little water sled things, I don't know what you call them, and you have the trolls with the water elementals all over. It's a really cool type of area. And whenever I think of Zuldrak, this is what I think of. I always think of this water poppy field and all the water elementals and the trolls farming it. And I don't know what that says about me. Like, out of everything in Zuldrak, this is what I always think of when I think of Zuldrak. So, I mean, I get it. They got to get their pain meds, right? So either way, that's why the Draxotra Fields are number 5. 4. Number 4 is Dhalsim's Farm, and Dhalsim's Farm is located in the Western Plaguelands and used to be called Dhalsim's Tears. And if you played Classic World of Warcraft, I'm sure you remember this farm, because this is where you find Mrs. Dhalsim, who is a wandering skeleton, and after you read her diary, she can drop the key to the outhouse where Farmer Dhalsim is a ghoul that's trapped. Then, after the Cataclysm, the Scourge have finally been cleared from Dhalsim's Tears, which has then been renamed Dhalsim's Farm, and it's actually a pretty nice farm. And yeah, much like earlier with the Uldum farm that I mentioned, this is kind of a cool transformation, but the other way around, where instead of becoming corrupted, it was corrupted, and now it's become just like a nice, pristine, normal farm. Which is actually, I think, kind of ironic, because Cataclysm destroyed everything, right? Like, so many things got destroyed or changed, but then this is one of the places that actually got healed up from the Cataclysm. So I think that's kind of fun as well. But yeah, overall, this is a really cool farm. You see it transform over time. It's got some history, and so that's why I decided to put it at number 4. 3. Number 3 is the Saldian Farm, and Saldian's Farm is unique in Westfall in that it is the only farm that was never completely overrun by the Defias Brotherhood. However, the Defias Harvest Golems continue to roam the fields, which I'm sure you're familiar with if you've ever quested in Westfall at any point, really ever. And I mean, there's other quests here too. I mean, there's the quest where you have to cluck like a chicken. There's the Westfall Stew quest. I mean, there's a lot of quests revolving around the Saldian Farm. And I wasn't actually thinking of putting this farm that high up on the list, but the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? A lot of people quest here. A lot of people have nostalgia of Westfall and probably this specific farm, and it does have a lot of history behind it and a lot of lore. In fact, speaking of lore, during the Burning Legion's invasion of Westfall, a bunch of people were enslaved and killed by the Burning Legion, but Farmer Saldian and his wife managed to survive and hide within their home on the Saldian Farm. So, like, they survived the Burning Legion, they survived the Defias Brotherhood, like, these are the chosen farmers, man. And so anyway, that's why the Saldian's Farm is number 3. 2. Number 2 are the farms of Hallowfall, and I didn't really pick any specific Hallowfall farms because I think they're all pretty cool. They're kind of similar in a way, but it's just a really beautiful area with so much farmland, and it's kind of funny because we're underground. Like, when you think of farms and farmland, you never really think of an underground cavern. Like, man, we're going underground. I can't wait to see the farmland down there. Like, that's not really a thing that gets brought up. But to me, you could have put these farms above ground, and I would still love them just as much, because I love the crops that grow here. There's vegetables, there's corn and plants, and like a whole bunch of stuff. They got big windmills, there's scarecrows. Like, it's a beautiful farmland. It's all over the place, and there's quests and big area events involving the farms. It's really a great area with so much cool farmland, and I felt like I had to put it on the list. And the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? These are some really cool farms. I gotta put this high up, and so that's why the Hallowfall farms are number 1. And number 1 is the Heartland located in the Valley of the Four Winds. And when I think of farms, this is my instant go-to. Like, I always come back to the Heartland in the Valley of the Four Winds, and according to this, it is the largest farming land in all of Pandaria. And the land is actually able to produce these large, massive crops due to the magical properties of the nearby water source, which comes from the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. And I always thought that was a really cool concept as well. Like, you have this big magical water source flowing over from the zone next to you, so you're getting these massive carrots and these massive watermelons and stuff. Like, I think that's just really fun. But what also makes it fun is when you have these massive farmlands and massive vegetables, you have massive vermin trying to eat your vegetables, and you have these big springtail vermin just all over the place trying to get at everything. And then obviously, you know, not everything is this massive vegetable farm. There's still animals like sheep and goats and yaks all around, and then there's still like standard farms and stuff like that. But overall, I think the Heartland truly is the best farm and, you know, I guess farmland in World of Warcraft, and so that's why the Heartland is number 1. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Pointless Top 10. If you want more top 10s, you go watch Farmers, since I would say that relates to this video pretty well, or you can go watch lesser known pop culture references, which is the Pointless Top 10 from last week. Also, like the video and let me know down below what your favorite farm in World of Warcraft is. Okay? Okay. See you.